What's going on, crypto sports fans? Clay Albright here. So you own some EOS, and lately you've been seeing some videos on YouTube about how EOS is centralized, or it's moved east, or it's owned by the exchanges, and you don't know what to think, you don't know what to do. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my thoughts towards EOS right now and see if maybe there's a different way of looking at it. I thought I'd put together 3 or 4 items. Was shocked when I had literally 10 different bullet points in a matter of minutes that I felt were positives regarding EOS right now. So I'm going to dive right in. EOS is the on-ramp for the entire EOSIO ecosystem. So similar to how Bitcoin is the on-ramp for cryptocurrency in general, EOS will be the chosen opponent for most EOSIO exchange trading pairs. Liquidity is the driving force behind this factor, and EOS has a huge head start. EOS has spawned more than a dozen chains already, each with their unique ecosystems of self-governance and tokenomics. Unlike the Bitcoin clones like Litecoin and Dash and others, these delegated proof-of-stake chains can and will communicate with each other and perform cross-chain transactions. So the EOSIO ecosystem is growing rapidly, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. So being the on-ramp for that ecosystem is significant. As the EOSIO ecosystem succeeds, EOS succeeds. EOS has more transactions each day than any other blockchain, by a huge margin. Blocktivity reports EOS with 41 million transactions in the last 24 hours, where second place Tron boasts a mere 2 million transactions in the past 24 hours. Many of the top performing Dapps in the entire crypto world exist on the EOS blockchain. Obviously, any perceptions of the EOS blockchain being centralized in the East are not prohibiting its growth. Block.one has a 10% stake in EOS. They could single-handedly change the vote by casting their 100 million EOS to vote for Western BPs. However, would that make EOS any less decentralized? The point here is that larger players do exist. It's definitely not too late. The game ain't over yet. Okay, so Chinese and Asian countries love the EOS blockchain, and they own more tokens. Notice the increase in tokens necessary to get elected in the top 21? This has jumped from 50 million EOS back in the days to 172 million EOS within just a year. I mean, that's a huge amount of EOS that are staked and out of circulating supply. If you currently hold EOS as an investment, I'm sure most of you already do, this is the important thing to understand. Will the EOS BP admission continue to rise at this staggering pace? If you reduce the circulating supply while increasing demand, well, that spells price increase. But will the demand increase? Voice intends to launch on the EOS blockchain. Voice, you've heard of it. It's got the big money behind it. It's Block.one's Dapp. They're going through KYC to try to get the entire world launched on this Dapp that is going to be on the EOS blockchain. That creates demand. It has its own voice token, you say. But it takes EOS to create it. Multiple VCs are developing on the EOS chain. We all know this from the early days when they put the VCs, when Block.one pledged money to VCs, and some of the VCs even matched those funds for development on the EOS blockchain. We haven't seen much from the VCs yet, although A lot of people do think this quarter three of 2019, is when we will begin to see much of the development that has been going on. So the demand is definitely not going down. With so many organic BPs, the original ones, the original chain operators, being pushed out of the top 21, do you think maybe they'll elect to start their own chain? It would make sense. They would use a current snapshot of the distribution while capping each account to spread it evenly. Telos. And this is actually Dan's comment, not mine, but it was pretty to the point. He says, hey, if you ask the Chinese how EOS is doing, they'll tell you. What's the problem? Delegated proof of stake allows the governance to be separate from the technology. That's the brilliance of it to begin with. In one way, regardless of whether EOS succeeds or not, the EOSIO ecosystem is succeeding wildly. However, I always come back to this. Block.one has 10% stake in EOS. That is motivation. Put the proposals in place that correct the situation. Dan Larimer's already mentioned many on his Telegram channel that could fix the quote-unquote whale problem on EOS. Put it out there. Force those whales to vote. By not voting for an improvement to the decentralization of EOS, they are voting against it. So we should never stop fighting, if that's how you feel, for the complete decentralization of the EOS chain. So put proposals in place, force the current leadership to vote by giving them the ability to vote for decentralization, and give them the ability to increase the price by voting for better decentralization. We are 1 year into the experiment called EOS. No way the story ends here. What will EOS look like in 1 more year? What will it look like in 3 years? The tech is solid. The governance is in transition. Dan Larimer, Brendan Bloomer, Block.one is invested in this EOS project. They have already suggested many possible methods of eliminating the whales on EOS. But it's the community that has to put it out there. Anything coming directly from Block.one would simply be viewed as centralized in a different way. All right, so let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button. What do you think? I would love to hear your perspective on EOS. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.